Hey there, fellow blood drinkers. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to V Rising. Episode 25, Vampires vs. Werewolves, an Ancient Feud. As you can see above my head, at the start of the stream, I'm going to have you guys vote on my priority. While you vote on this priority, I intend to dispatch my servants so that they start gathering material. I'm only doing 2-hour hunts, so I'm hoping to get 2 2-hour hunts in this stream, meaning I'm going to go a little long. So let's empty them out, hope that they're not wounded, and then dispatch them. So the main quest would be Castle Heart to tier 5, as you can see above my head. And then if there's any other quests, you're welcome to, or rather any of the other priorities, you're welcome to vote for them accordingly. Alright, so before I summon everyone out, I think Fangface was the only one that we hadn't collected from. It looks like Trilon is injured, so he's good. Oh, and as is Guven. So those two are going to have to sit out, which is fine. And there we go. All of the thralls are deployed. So I'm going to jump into the throne and then deploy the ones that can be deployed back out. So, All Day Daisy. And let's say Fangface. That's a high enough % chance that I'm willing to risk it. Alright, what else do we need? I don't think I have another one that could handle a 700. We have Glitch and Nimiot left. I might send them both into the Iron Mines. Except for Nimiot has 0% chance to survive. So I'll just send Glitch into the Iron Mines, and then Nimiot to go fishing. Okay, hunts are selected. Now I just need to put away all of these glorious materials, and then work on whatever you guys vote on. And in about an hour, Trilon and Ayuvan rather, hour and a half for Trilon and an hour for Ayuvan, will be ready to deploy back out. So Trilon here has gear 62, Ayuvan has a gear 56. Ayuvan's gear could be better, but whether or not we address that will be up to polling. Alright, so here's the study. We did unlock the Merciless Whip through a book that we obtained, and then all the other books that I have on me can be shredded. Apparently they are not needed.
Of course.
And then we have loads of quartz that we can be turned into glass. Because we were low on glass. I might have overdid it. And then, of course, we have the sulfur ore as well. Looks good. I have lots of scrolls. That will unlock some blueprints. And then flowers and fabric, and yeah, we're sporting a lot of good stuff. Get that cloth rolling out. Alright, it looks like focusing on the main quest seems to be the popular option. I'm not going to call it just yet. I'm going to wait until I've fully put everything away. But if that's the case, I will highlight exactly what that entails in just a moment. Traverse, welcome to your first stream. And yes, I find it quite funny that you tried to restart the player as if it was YouTube. I am live. This is, surprisingly enough, not a pre-recording, which means you can't fast forward, because nobody knows the future. Not even a vampire lord. Alright, let's hope for good scrolls. Wrangler potion, hey, that's not bad. That allows you to ride faster on your mount. And Dustwatcher gloves, okay. I'm always hoping for potions and like flooring are some of the most important ones to unlock, of course, because the rest are kind of cosmetic. Alright, in terms of my gear, I now have the fresh Dawthorn gear here. And if you're wondering if I can roll the Dawthorn stuff out to my underlings, I would probably need a little bit more pristine leather. I do have pristine hide that can be mutant greased up a little, but I don't want to use all my mutant grease. I do have a mutant grease hunt going on, though. So in about 2 hours, provided the hunt is successful, I should end up with some mutant grease. And it looks like you guys want me to focus on the main quest. So let's talk about the main quest. In order to upgrade the castle heart yet again, I need a powered core, primal blood essence, which I already have, and dark silver ingots. So if we open up our blood hunter, scroll all the way up, we've got Cyril the Cursed Smith, who is the Act 3 boss that drops the silver ingots. And then the powered core is actually a little bit higher. It is... God, where is... I might not even be high enough level for the powered core. I think it's way up here, meaning that I have to focus on gear level. Now, it might make sense to just, like, skip bosses, but in my case, like, I really don't want to do that. For several different reasons, but one is the benefits that you get from killing bosses that are maybe a little bit lower level can increase your gear level. So if I skip the bosses and don't get things like a pristine leather bag, then I'm missing out on like the health and inventory slots and things like that. So let's decide where we're going next. But the powered cores, if you're wondering, are like a Gloomrot North thing, which I'm a bit too low level for. But what I will do is I will start to take out the rest of the Act 3 bosses. And let's start with... Is it daytime? Okay, if it's daytime, I'm going to head towards Willfred the Elder. And the priority is going to be clear the Act 3 bosses, because that gets me closer to being able to upgrade the Castle Heart. Alright, if I'm going after the Act 3 bosses, I would definitely benefit in some lovely potions, right? I want to be as strong as I can heading into this fight. So let's brew some up. And then on top of brewing some up, I'll probably end up tapping the best possible blood that I have available to me, so that I'm, you know, as strong as I can be. Maybe I'm going to go with 5 Blood Rose potions. And I'm going to put the Blood Rose brews away, transitioning over to full-fledged potions. Then we're going to want some fish bones, Hell's Clarion, Morning Lily, Snow Herb, and we'll do Ferocity, Enchanted, and that's probably all I really need for this specific boss. Yeah. Oh, Vampiric Brew would be good too, if I have the Bleeding Heart, which I do. Just barely enough. It might be worth farming a little bit more Bleeding Heart, and Bleeding Heart comes from the Ruins of Mortium area, so that it can make more Vampiric Brews going forward. Because, you know, that's going to be a bit of a lightsaber. A lightsaber? A lifesaver. I don't know what I said, but I'm assuming I said it wrong. Okay. There we go. So those brews are going. There's nothing to harvest here. And
so it shall be.
We are going to... Ooh, alright. So for some of these coarse threads, I'll make more study paper. Did I see the Oakvale video? Yes. So my gear is about as good as it can get. One thing that would be useful is better armor, like higher tier armor. So taking a look, The sommelier here has a better amulet, which is going to jump me up a big gear level. So he's worth killing once he's matched gear. And then we do have greater jewels and the holy resistance flask. So there's a bunch of gear that will be, I think, very helpful when we're trying to farm stronger bosses. But we need to clear Act 3 first. At this point, I probably have most of the brewing done. Yep, waiting on one more varmint salve, and then we'll be out. I didn't tap, so I'm going to take the 5 rats. I didn't yet tap high quality blood. The sommelier is pure PTSD for you. You are going to be so upset when I kill him, because you're going to be like, oh god, I did it wrong. Oh, I don't have a glass bottle. And seeing that it is now nighttime, let's get moving. Trauma's deep with that V-blood. Left that much of an impression, huh? Alright, let's see. Feed you some fish. 3 of them. 2 rats. And we're good to go. Alright, so the village elder is somewhere in the cursed forest, so let's go ahead and... I think what I'll do is I'll drink my potions at, like, the last possible second. So that I have the most amount of time on it as I'm able to have. Oh, did I not take the... Oh, I didn't even take the blood potion. Good job, me. I, like, grabbed the fish or whatever and then forgot the blood potion. Let's try that again. I'm really glad my servants can clean up all the hoof prints of Max the Mad's, Oh my god, don't... Oh, fine. You know what? It's fine. I'll just summon the horse once I'm there. Okay.
Bend to my will.
One of the lovely things about having Dominate Mount is this. It can't die. Well, it can die, but it can't die forever. And, you can always bring it back. Oh god, that's gonna be annoying. No, don't hit me! I'm just a little drunk driving at the start. Alright, and we are just following the blood trail. Well, that's rude. Cut it out! I do need silkworms and pristine hide, so I guess it's kind of useful, but I would have preferred not to have had that happen. I don't have Blood Merlot yet. That's something you only get after the sommelier. I have the blood potion here. Oh, hey, Gore Crusher. I definitely don't want to fight you. I don't even know what level you are. You're just skulls, skulls, skulls. That's a big old nope for me. Alright, obviously this portal would have been way closer than one I took. And here we are, Willfred, the Werewolf Chief. I had just used my Crimson Beam. I'm trying to think what spell of magic is going to be the most useful here. Maybe I'll just keep what I got.
Snapping bones, the blood
I can taste it.
And we'll improvise from here. So he's definitely a melee, and I don't want him to get too close. And now he's invisible. And he heart struck me. There goes half his health. And now he's roaring and eating villagers to regenerate. So let's get rid of these villagers.
Hold still. Let me have a taste.
No tasting. Whoop, heart struck me. Play with my shadow. Dude's pretty tanky. Even my tank ability or block ability does not block Heart Strike. But it's fine because he's melted into a goo. A bloody, bloody goo.
After all.
If you ever have questions about the settings that I'm playing on, they're in
knowledge.
the description. So if you're wondering if it's single player, multiplayer, version, mods, etc., that's all going to be in the description, always. Alright, down he goes. The reward for him is a pristine leather bag for way more silver coin carrying, resource yield, which is really nice, boosted resource yield, that you can obtain outside of using worker blood is pretty handy if you ask me. And then a spell point. Blood magic. So either Blood Fountain or Veil of Blood. So Blood Fountain. Summon a pillar of blood that heals allies for 50% of your spell power. It erupts after 1.2 seconds, inflicting leech and dealing damage, and then healing further. And then Veil of Blood is the blood leech dash, because every school of magic has a different dash. So choose between those two. And let's get out of here and hunt down some more V-Bloods. I think before we go after the next V-Blood, I will assess whether or not I can make the leather bag. I would very much like to have a resource yield gain leather bag. Sounds awesome. And looks like Team Blood Fountain coming out strong in this poll. Little blood fondue going on. Maybe take the bruise before the next V-Blood? So, what I was doing there was, like, gauging whether or not I needed them or not. Because if I don't need them, I shouldn't take them. Because, you know, they do cost time and resources to gather and make or whatever. So, it wasn't that I forgot to. The way I like to play is I like to figure out if I need it like a crutch. And then if I don't need it like a crutch, I'll just not use it. So it was intentional that I had left it. Okay, blood fountain it is. And this is what it looks like. Sort of like the electric ball, but, you know, a different status effect, if you will. All right. We've got 5, 6, 6, 0. I think doing pretty good on the misery. Thanks to the fisherman. Okay, let's go after another. So we got Willfred. I did say that I wanted the leather bag. I hadn't forgotten. So for this, I would need 9 pristine leather, which we have 19, so that's plenty. And then 3 radium. Whoops, that's the wrong key. Which I had 20, so no problem. Also means that my old leather bag, I can just shred. Because I'm playing alone, it's not like anyone else can benefit from gear hand-me-downs. And your thralls don't use bags, so it's not helpful to hold on to it. Alright, come on, give me a floor or a potion. Neither. Swell, thank you. I'm actually not entirely sure what floors... I think I have all the floors that I can have. So... Oh, you know what I just realized? I own library flooring, don't I? And I haven't built library... Wait, what? Oh, because this needs to be a wall. Okay, hold on, let me fix that. That was a mistake. Somehow I didn't notice. Alright, so here's my lovely bag. Now I'm just missing 3 slots. But that resource yield is going to be really nice. There we go. Alright, now it's discounted. I completely failed to notice that it was not actually walled up. And I had been spending more points. So, a little bit of a heal for Max the Mad there. That's, you know, the extent of that spell. Okay. Got everything squared away. And the next night is a blood moon? Okay, I think I'm going to do a quick audible. Make thrall gear. And the reason is, I'll hunt the last 2 bosses, taking all my potions during a blood moon. I think that's probably a really good use of my time. Which means, until then, I want to make silk and pristine leather so that I can have some really strong thralls so that they can farm the resources I need to continue to thrive. So that means trying to get some Dawnthorn out. And I think mutant grease is my bottleneck. Now, it is possible to summon mutant grease. I'll show you what I mean. So over here in the... over here, you can summon spiderlings or mutated rats, which is kind of an indirect way to get mutant grease. So if I put, like, fish bones and mutant grease... Oh, no, that's for silkworms. If I put sludge-filled container and grave dust, I can get mutant rats that will... can be farmed for mutant grease. I don't really like to go that route. It's just, like, a personal choice. Preferring not to get my grease through like base spawners. It makes a lot more sense in like PvP situations, because not having to leave the safety of your base to farm gear makes tons of sense. But for PvE, it's like a far less of an issue. Just putting some stuff away. So I think mutant grease is my bottleneck at this point. Because I was coming over here to make sure that I didn't have like any in the fabricator or the smithy, which I don't. So if I'm not mistaken, we need to go do a little grease farming. So I'm going to use up the remainder of the grease that I have on me now to tan the pristine hides that I have, and then we're going to have to go grease farming, which is but we are slow and sure getting some more of the Dawnthorn to hook up on our followers, our thralls. Okay. So, this area here, pools of rebirth, are pretty good for grease. Let's head out. I'm going to do just a little bit of grease farming, because I want to spend as much time as possible prepping for the boss fights. So, I'm not going to be here for very long. So here's the spell in action against an enemy. Don't burn me, bruh. And I think that was my first, or one of my first, healing orbs that I got as a result of... Oh, God. Maybe I shouldn't cook myself. One of my first healing orbs that I got as a result of the ability. The passive ability from Stygian Shards, which is, you know, pretty cool. Alright, Pools of Rebirth, I am not even close to. Got kind of sidetracked. Given that it's almost nighttime already, let's scratch that, and I'll just go for, Cyril and, whatever the frog boss's name is. I'm blanking on his name right now. Crispy-fied rad? Yes. That's exactly how I like to be cooked. To a crisp. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. Teleporter is right here. Alright, we're gonna head back to the forests. We'll try here and look for Mr. Toad. There we go. All the brews. His name's Baron? Okay. Well, he's Mr. Toad to me. Blood leads me this way. Says he's far away. Hey, Cyril. So Cyril there is the final Act 3 boss. Which is weird that I mean, part of me is like, when in Rome, kill the Romans. Maybe that's what I shall do. I don't really kill them in order. God, you banshees are annoying. Belhar, thank you for the resub. I definitely don't have the right spells on for this fight. I just kind of jumped in there with whatever I had equipped. But we're almost done. Then I'll heal up, and we'll be boss time. Okie dokie. So I need to make sure in this fight not to walk into the rest of the village, because I really haven't cleared out the rest of the village. They're still very much intact. But Cyril the Cursed Smith. Hold on 1 sec. So let's change our ability back to what we normally run with and see how this plays out.
I am bound to defend my faith.
So he is a big spellcaster, and he's dropping cursed blades everywhere, which might be an indicator of we should focus on this, or he gets stronger, because we've faced a bunch of different bosses with similar game mechanics up until this point, where their summons make them actively stronger unless you destroy them.
Let me hammer out the kicks.
And then his, like, spirit balls, if you get what I'm saying, are very reminiscent of Ben the Wanderers, where when you step on them, they, like, ensnare you annoyingly. So you gotta be careful about not getting ensnared. And then his big ability doesn't seem to be blockable as a result of using block.
Gather your arms.
I'm getting a little bit far from the fight area, which would summon in his villagers in a bad... Oh, ouch. In a bad way. And I've also not been focusing on his summoned weapons quite as dutifully. Ouch. Which is okay, because I'll just nuke blast him for the win. Or at least bring him down pretty far. Now, a lot of the bosses, as you may have noticed, when they get real injured, they get real desperate, and they do more damage, making them functionally more dangerous the lower health they have. So you gotta be careful not to get complacent when they're injured, because they pack a big punch when they're wounded. Usually 50-30%, thereabouts. There goes Cyril.
I feel stronger.
And now Cyril's benefit is an illusion spell point, the ability to make an anvil. So we'll need spectral dust, reinforced planks, and primal blood essence, an advanced furnace, and dark silver ingot, allowing us to make essentially what is like cursed silver, is how I describe it. And then the Duke is the last one in the lineup. And for this spell point, there's really only Spectral Guardian, because I already had the other choice, so... the illusion of choice. Now I've wasted... waste is a strong word. I've spent half the night killing one boss. Let's hope there's enough time for the other. I have a jewel that allows me to detonate ball lightning early. So it's bejeweled to do that. It's a lot of enemies. Trying to figure out where it wants me to go. Oh, we're riding the wrong way. Come on, blood. Nope, I was going the right way. One of the issues of having a really fast horse is like you ride faster than your blood trail so that you can like outpace the blood and it gets confusing about what direction you're supposed to go. Okay. He's right in there. So let's go ahead and clear his garbage. Now I did just use my ultimate cooldown, but that should be fine. Hey Max, I'll heal you too. Coil is a pretty effective heal, as you may have noticed.
Return to me, my steed.
If Max dies, I just resummon him. He can't really die in that way. See? Summoning him anew heals him full. Okay, 72 seconds for my ultimate ability. But I might go ahead and start the fight early anyway. So we've seen bosses like this before, that like to rumble the earth, if you will. And his spit up frog, I could not block. A lot of AoE. He is getting... Whoop! I was gonna say he was getting melted, but then he disappeared. Oh god, poison everywhere. And down he goes. As long as you, kind of like the Spider Queen, as long as you avoid his AoEs, which slow you down and let them, like, gang up on you, it's fine.
Feel stronger.
And these fights might have looked easy, but a lot of it was like, I'm potioned up the wazoo, and I'm on Blood Moon buff. So, and 100% blood. Like, I had really every advantage going to this fight as one could possibly have, which made it look easier than it was. So this allows me to make coins from scratch. Gives me a chest table and toad form, which allows me to jump high into the air. So that is all the Act 3 bosses. Now what I want to do is build an anvil. And let's head out of the woods. Ooh, wrong way. Thank you for tuning in to V Rising, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow vampires.